There it goes. Okay, you never know what'll happen. Um, After a weird yesterday, we are here today with today's news in Warcraft, and we are ready to roll. As an update to yesterday, remember that big thing about how Donald Trump got a hold of FIFA about the soccer player who stepped on the other guy's leg and got the red card, and he was supposed to be suspended for a game and did not, and we're just going to go ahead and pounce. We're on the hunt for a flurry axe here, by the way. Let's just do that and bear it out. And they lost. They lost to Belgium, I believe. So Belgium, what was it? Mitch McConnell is still alive somehow. I don't know what is going on there. I've got some heavy latency going on, don't I? Sometime this century. Wow, what happened there? But the conspiracy theory is this. I'll have to heal out anyway. Whoa. But the conspiracy theory is basically this, that Mitch McConnell is no longer alive, okay? And they are using his sometime this millennium, people, come on. Wow, look at that latency. But he is being protected, a protected corpse. I don't know what to call that. And this may be a flub anyway. I just don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, look at this. Let's see here. I don't know where I can find my latency right now. Oh, that's at the clock. I've been disconnected. No wonder. I knew that was coming. So while I reconnect, I'm going to go like this with the capture because there's just some characters I don't want you to see. I get some privacy too. But the thing was, Mitch McConnell is no longer alive. This is the conspiracy theory. Okay, so take this with as much salty as you want. Hey, fine. It might actually work. We hope. We hope. And the seed is being held basically in absentia by Mitch McConnell's lifeless body because they don't want Thomas Massey to win a special election there. It's that crazy of a conspiracy theory, whether or not it is conspiracy theory or conspiracy fact is something else entirely. Okay, but that is a conspiracy. But no more than a couple of hours ago, Republican leaders have actually come out and said, yes, we've actually talked with Mitch McConnell, and I'm assuming, and assuming they can be trusted, because you know how this is going to work. You already know how that's going to work. Oh, you silly goose. Oh, well. Now, let's do that so we don't do so we don't endure general chat. So I'm sneaking up on these guys, and come here, you. Like I said, we're farming for the Flurry Axe tonight, so there really isn't, much to do game-wise, and I have it maxed out. But they've talked to Mitch McConnell already, and I plumb forgot to do this, so we'll just do all that, and I can do that right away. Now, I've talked with him, but what happened was, this was around June 14th, I believe it was, and he was found unconscious, and I believe they had to do CPR on him, if I remember everything correctly. We're going to get another DC very soon. Don't know why. Well, let's just stop and man her up here. Now, so he was found unconscious. They had to perform CPR on him, which means he was probably no longer alive at some point. Right. And so, as far as I know, he's in a hospital. As far as I know, I'm not 100% sure about this, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Ring the silly bell, do all of that lovely thing. And let's go ahead and get them before this group of players decides to get them for me. But, just like with Erica Kirk, guess what? It's like, what is it with them all going and just, leaving the country or doing whatever, because while their husbands are passing away and whatever, or getting hit in the carotid artery, and you know how that is when it just gushes and gushes and gushes and gushes out of there. If you've ever seen something like that before, that's what happens. But in any event, he is hospitalized, and at the end of this year, he's not running for re-election. Okay, so we've got that going for you. He's not running for re-election, and this is a very good, and this has got a good chance to flip if the Democratic Party doesn't shoot itself in the foot. That's basically all you have to do. This is one of those, I believe Kentucky is probably one of those where you can coast in there if you can get a Bashir Democrat in that. Okay, and after this mob right here, I'm going to cat out and stealth and prowl. Sorry, we prowl, we don't stealth. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to stealth out like this. And we're going to get over here to Firefox so I can get over to the next story. And, I forgot to turn you back on, didn't I? Oopsie on me. Well, you missed a whole lot of stuff. Now, you didn't miss much, trust me. You didn't miss much. It was just the reconnect, and it's still kind of being weird on us. So our next story up is Grand Platner. And just now on the Bluesky feed, guess what? Another accusation against him. That this makes two. This is two so far. Okay, so one could have been anything, but this makes two now. Okay, and when this kind of thing happens, that when the second person, or even heaven forbid a third person comes around, man, that's beyond a pattern. That's a something is up, right? Well, so far no flurry axes. If the devs are listening to me, oh poo. They've stuck me in an eternal battle, haven't they? Well, I'll show you a pull without. And we'll just ramp up. Come on, hurry it up. And we'll just go ahead and burn that while we're at it. But no, that makes two. This is going to pretty much, his campaign is going to be torpedoed at this point. Because like I said, two creates the pattern. Two creates a pattern. And three, oh man, imagine if there were three. Just imagine that a minute. And while we're doing this, let's go ahead, we'll get food buff up, and I've got to maneuver a new drink over here, some morning glory dew. Get rid of the enchanted water. Now, but, if and when he drops out, and I believe it's not going to be a question of if now, because two are up, two have done it, two are saying this is happening, and I think two is going to be two for torpedo, okay? So be aware of that as we go on. This is going to come about. And it's going to basically ensure Susan Collins. Sorry, Maine. You're getting Susan Collins back. I'm going to go back to the election board in a couple minutes here. Give me 1 second here. But they've given the Republican Party the ammunition, all the ammunition they need. How are you going to have an election so fast? You can't. You're not going to be able to have a snap election like they do in the UK on a moment's notice, and then have a different nominee. No, what's going to happen is they're going to have a nomination by committee, and that's just going to give them all of the ammunition they need. Excuse me, I'm going to push this microphone just a hair closer, and if there's a giant thump, it means everything has hit the floor. Okay, nothing's hit the floor. And this is all the ammunition they need, or at least that Susan Collins needs. She'll be like, well, I, Susan Collins, won my primary, and he or she, whoever it would be on the other ticket, didn't even win theirs. They had to be selected by the committee. They say they're the party of democracy, and they're going to have to select their candidate. But me, Susan Collins from Maine, your senator, won her primary election fair and square. Do you see where the ammunition's going with this now? And this is why I thought in the back of my head, the moment it started, I was like, man, Susan's won. Sorry. I mean, sorry about your luck in that state. And as soon as this battle is over, we will change over our tabs to the election map. Again, we're going here farming for the Flurry accent. I've gone it full screened. I don't have to go all frenetic with tabs like I had to do yesterday. And I do apologize for that. I will try my best never to do that kind of thing again, because it made me have to shrink the main Warcraft window, which is not fun at all, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to wait a minute anyway. I'm going to let Spirit take care of that so I can snap back to bear form. So give me just a second here. So that's the Graham Platner issue. Here is the U.S. Senate election map. And again, I apologize for a minute ago, too, because I forgot to turn the game back on. Now, so I'm going to have to drag my phone out here and bring up Pages. Yay! Pages, continue, blah, blah, blah. We are a one-man show. So please give me 1 minute. Where'd you go? Where did you go? Was it blank 8? I don't know. Well, I'm looking for it. Let's go ahead and get this puppy. Let's go ahead and get this little baby. Maybe it'll be the one that drops it. Give me a Flurry Axe. Mine. Actually, give me 3 of them. I got plenty of alts I could use it. What's blank 8? Help me here. Nope. Nope, that ain't right. Okay, and it's not going to be blank 11. Oh, no, it wasn't in Pages. It was in Numbers. That's why I can't find it. No wonder I couldn't find it. It's actually in Numbers. Hello? Sheesh. These are Nermall enforcers. Sadly, I don't have a Google map up like they do. I love their maps, and they come on about 10 o'clock. I'm trying to get... Excuse me, I needed to drink at the same time. But I'm trying to get finished before they start, because I do like their program. And we'll come about to, as soon as Numbers decides to reinstall itself, I have that setting on the phone where, and I shouldn't have it on because I have enough space now to do it, where I side offload apps or whatever it's called, and that Furry Fire didn't hit. How come you didn't hit? Why didn't you hit? Come on, Numbers, you gotta get on there sometime soon. I mean, we gotta get on there sometime soon, right? Okay. They stole my mob. All right, there's Numbers. I actually like these apps. The apps here. Let's see. It should be Blank 2. I think it's what I called it. It's what a creative name, right? Blank 2. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. And back here. Come here. It failed. It failed. Okay. So when it fails, we just ramp it up fast and run to bear and do that. Now. Alrighty, so we're going to go through a state-by-state issuance of the 2026 U.S. Senate midterm elections. It's it's not going to be pretty again, especially in light of recent events. Uh, I just started on one coast, worked my way around. Okay, so number one was Alaska. It's a current Republican seat. It's likely to and that one is likely to go. Oregon, we have a Democratic seat, and I'm willing to bet that Democratic seats will all be safe this time. For some reason, why on earth am I missing so hard today? Sometimes after these patches. So anything with a definite Democrat in charge of that seat, they're probably not going to lose it. Sorry. Idaho, it's a Republican. Didn't win it with that one. Sorry. You've got to factor in a lot of things. Not only do you have that anger, but what you have to understand is this. The ones that are swayable like that, they're going to be swayed by basically a terror project. Every single ad they're going to get from now on their media sphere is going to be designed to get them feared and voting. You have to understand this. And you understand it really fast, and the sooner you do, the easier this election becomes. If you want someone out, you have to go vote. Don't expect somebody else to do it. Don't expect your parents to save you, because mom and dad are being brainwashed by that machine. I should know because mine are. Mine are absolutely, utterly brainwashed by the Trump media machine. I kid you not. And I have to vote against my own parents. Okay? How's that? How's that for some dinner time conversation, right? The next one up is Montana, and I have that in as a maybe. Because I guess that must have been a close one the last time around, because I looked at the last one. I looked at the last vote and what happened there, and then I padded a little bit of a vote in for an opposition candidate, because it never works very well for them. And by the way, I would assume, because it's going to be one of those elections, expect the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to lose his seat. This always happens. Remember, it happened to Dennis Hastert. He lost his seat, and then a few of the Republicans did too. There was a Tom. I can't remember his name. But they tend to lose elections when their party is in charge and there's going to be a voter revolt. So expect that. Expect the Speaker of the House to lose their spot. Okay? Wyoming. Sorry about your luck there. Colorado, it's a safe Democratic seat, so is New Mexico. Texas, they've already told you. They've told you already in Texas. It's not even you can't win, it is you won't win. They've already done it. It's baked into the Texas cake. It absolutely is. So I'm calling that didn't win it with that one. Oklahoma may actually do it if there's enough of a flip. I'm just going to go ahead and get you going. And we'll just do that just so we can keep going. Right. Now, Nebraska is a Republican seat. And they've got a situation there where it might actually turn too. I did a Texas Post 17 because of the miracle election down that way, and so if it happened to fall within that margin, my kingdom for a connecting hit. Come on. It's going down anyway, but. We're at Minnesota. That's a Democratic seat. It's a very safe Democratic seat simply because it is a Democratic seat. They're all safe. I mean, I think if you're a Democrat at this point, your seat is safe. Okay. Iowa, it's a Republican seat. They're in revolt in Iowa right now. I would expect that one to flip. Okay? Expect it to come. Alright, let's get started there. Where was I? I was on Iowa, wasn't I? So Arkansas's next. Barnyard Betty's already told you down there. Barnyard Betty's in charge of that one. She's not going to let you have them. Louisiana. And again, watch the Speaker of the House's seat. And watch the Louisiana vote. Because I think if the vote is mobilized the way I think it's going to be, I may get both, but it'll be okay. Come on, quick, quick, quick. All right, we got this, I think. Yeah, we should have this. We should have this. And if not, well, I can always heal up after that. Now, then we go into... I'll show you a little trick. Now, then we go to Tennessee. It's a state that could, if it flips the right, if the vote goes the right way. It's one of those that's got to go the right way, and if it doesn't go the right way, you're just shoot out of luck. Mississippi, it's like the huge Republican hotbed. It's been called Ruby Red Mississippi for a reason. Arkansas, sorry, not Arkansas. I already did Arkansas. Alabama, where Governor Meemaw herself is spearheading a redistricting campaign. Probably ain't gonna win there. Florida, could it go? Could it go? Maybe. Could it go? Maybe. And I want to repeat that. Florida is always one of those little weirdo states that can always be a maybe. Georgia is currently held by a Democrat, and because it's a seat in the deep South, if I were to pick a single Democratic seat that might change over to a Republican, it would be in the South. Everybody's saying, oh, it's probably going to be Michigan. It's a Democratic seat. No, I don't think it is. I don't think that will go. It's going to be a nail biter, so I think, in Michigan. So if it does, oh, turn around, you lousy, you little kavingy dingy. Now, but I don't think Michigan will change. I just don't. Georgia might, though, because of the fact of it being in the deep South. You know how to fight that? You go and vote. Go vote. Just a minute here. Now, by the time I get over to you, I'll be healed up because I got to go through some more states here. South Carolina may very well flip. It could. And the same, I'm not holding my breath for South Carolina. I am holding my breath for North Carolina. The demographics there are changing and changing real hardcore. This could be the one. It could very well be the one. What are you over here? Ugh. Yeah, we're just going to wait for that warlock to go away. Oh, don't come back. Oh, my Lord. But look for that. Virginia is currently held by a Democrat. It's going to be harder and harder and harder as Virginia ages for a Republican to win a statewide election. It's just getting more and more and more blue by the minute. And I'm not saying that like it's a terrible thing. I'm saying that just as a statement of fact. There's more and more people that would lean toward a Democratic candidate that votes there by the minute. Unlike West Virginia, where Shelley Moore Capito is running for re-election, and I'm just going to tell you right now, didn't win it with that one. And West Virginia is a very strange and special case, and I'm going to have to go into the history of this one state with with federal elections. Okay, not just the presidential election, but that's just the most visible ticket you can see quite readily. It's just the presidential election, but it is a very interesting state to look at politically. But Shelley Moore Capito is getting reelected, and is getting the seat, and will be reelected. This needs to sting for the Democratic Party, and yes, I know he was in the Triple K, and he has deeply regretted that. But if I remember this correctly, her or the other one's Jim Justice, but I believe it is Shelley Moore Capito's seat, was the one that used to be held by the Democratic Appropriations Chair, West Virginia former Senator Robert C. Byrd, who is no longer alive. But that was his seat, if I remember this right. But now it's held by Shelley Moore Capito, and I even think with all this rage right now going on at her and this party, and if you haven't seen it yet, go back in time and find the Bernie Sanders replay that I have here. In the live tab, I think I called it Weekend at Bernie's. I had a little bit of fun with that. If you want me to, I'll do it and resize it. And I won't mind doing a resize. Excuse me again. In a replay, I'm having a Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream, and this is why I'm being a little burpy right now. And I'm going to tell you what, if I could have something. I've never had a drink before that evokes a decade, okay? This evokes even the zero sugar one, which we've got here at the house. This evokes the 1950s, and it feels so good. You gotta get it if you can. But anyway, Shelley Moore Capito's seat is safe. Ohio's seat, not so much. Ohio is one of those other weird states that can flip-flop back and forth. It's become more and more solidly a Republican state over the years, but with a brutalized, angry electorate. Even a state that has been going more and more Republican can flip back just real quick, okay? It really can. Delaware, Democrat, no problem. No problem, ain't gonna flip. New Jersey, Democrat, ain't gonna flip, no problem. Rhode Island's gone to Democrat, ain't gonna flip, no problem. Massachusetts, you mean Taxachusetts, has a Democrat in there. It is safe, no problem. Now I'm gonna get this chest. Now, New Hampshire, Democrat, no problem. And then we go to Maine. The last state in our list is Maine. And because of these allegations, and whether or not they're true is irrelevant. And if they are, I mean, this is abhorrent to even think about this kind of thing. But it needs to be, this is one of those, they needs to be decided in court. And it pains me to say this, but I want, how do you even say, there's a setup for this in court? How do you think for this, right? Now let's bear out, and we'll do that, and we'll do that, and then we can swipe our way out of here. It's just a work of beauty while the dots do their thing. But this is now Susan Collins' election to lose. It absolutely, utterly is. It is her election to lose. Okay, we're going to have to get rid of this brute. Come on, you little brute. Come on, brute. And then after this, we will get into the Bluesky News Feed. How dare you miss? But I'm glad the latency issues are finally figured themselves out. I kind of forget where things are when I'm in bear form. I apologize. That's been a little while. But you can see I'm doing better right now. Yesterday, what happened, let me tell you. With all that frenetic tabbing and everything, that mess. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get over here and get to the Bluesky News Feed. There's the news list. I'm going to have to reload this. And this was where I found out the other one happened. Former Grand Platner girlfriend describes alleged violence, which he denies. Again, he denies it. This is one of those, you need your day in court. Okay, that's exactly where my app is. Perfect. So I'm going to be scrolling down in my app instead of scrolling down here in the window. As we go down the news app here, the news list here, and first up is Jake here himself, Jake Bro, who, if you want Ukrainian news, if you want to know about that conflict, go to his channel. Oh, phooey. Now, let's shift out again, and... Oh, I spoke too soon about the lag monsters. I think it's back. So, from Jake Bro, Russia's fuel crisis has now been going on for almost a month, obviously, is what he was trying to say. And the situation is only going to get more apocalyptic for the Russian people. This is the 1970s in the USA all over again. The end of Jimmy Carter's administration brought about... Yeah, see, look there. It took a while for that to hit. Did you see it? My roar. It didn't want to hit. This was what happened in the 70s in the USA under Jimmy Carter, and believe it or not, Iran was there too. And this was the Iran hostage crisis, all at the same time as a fuel crisis in the USA. And so there was a heating crisis, there was an everything crisis during the Jimmy Carter administration. And a lot of it wasn't anything that he could do much about. Iran, he tried his dangest, but what was that? Gray. Right. But this was what happened too. They had these incredibly long lines just to get like a gallon of gas. And in Russia, they really are rationing things. I'll wait for you to get out of the way. And now, come here, enforcer. Take that. Take that and your thousands of people who watch you every night. Next up, again from Jake Bro, so it's Ukraine related, obviously. Ukraine is now using drones to disable and destroy every Russian ship. I can't talk, sorry. In the Sea of Azov. Ukraine took out 12 Russian ships in the last 2 days. Wow, for them, for the drone forces. But back what I was saying before, but with Iran being in the center of the fuel crisis back then too, what happened back then compared to now was a similar situation. It was involving OPEC as a whole, not just Iran as a country. Ooh, I escaped you, but you're a green mob. That's why I escaped him. But today it's solely because of Iran with the Strait of Hormuz. And as we're going to come down here in a little bit, you're going to find out what's going on over there too. You're not going to be happy. Reuters, from Jake again. Reuters has confirmed that Ukraine successfully knocked Russia's largest oil refinery in Omsk offline. The last word with Lawrence O'Donnell, all he says is who his guests are. There isn't much said of anything there, okay? From CNN, all charges against a radiologist. Oh, you just came back. Hi, come here, you. And see here, accused of trying to make his family no longer alive in 2023 by driving his car off a cliff along the Northern California coast has been dismissed by a judge following completion of a mental health program. So, did he get off because, is this basically an insanity plea? I don't know. Jake, again, about the Omsk refinery. This is Russia's largest refinery. This is what he says. Reuters confirms that close to 80% of the refinery has been knocked offline after a single attack. Coming soon to the USA, but for a whole different reason. Things tend to rhyme. Ukrainian drones also struck... Can you not hit? Ukrainian drones also struck and disabled 12 Russian ships in the Sea of Azov, which we already knew. We're on the World Cup next from CNN. I'm getting to where Iran comes back into play again. Okay, please be patient with me. We're just heading down the news feed list. I'm down to here. Egypt and Argentina reminded all of us what this tournament is really about. This is from CNN. Underdog spirit, blah, 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 about the World Cup. About the World Cup. Well, it's already been screwed up because of Donald Trump. He has already blessed it with his suck. He has already blessed this with his garbage. And again, 2028's coming. LA 2028. Do you not think for a minute he is going to not interfere with the Olympiad? Do you seriously think that based on this FIFA moment, based off this moment with FIFA, do you legitimately believe that Donald John Trump is going to do that? And say, oh, Prime Directive. Well, no, he ain't gonna do that. Let's just tell you that now. He's not pro-liberty. Oh, no, not at all. Let's eat a Clement. See, I've already got my Shadowcraft stuff ready. And I've also got a couple of the Druid set, too, but it's not... Oh, please don't get on me. There you go. Thank you. Good puppy. Now, so, I mean, can you not see the writing on the wall there? The other countries, the saner countries out there, get together, have an alternative Olympics. I gave you the list of places yesterday. I'll go through them again just because. We have Canada. We had a Montreal Olympics. That was back in '76, I believe that was. So we're going to go through places that are not being held by dictatorships, which includes the United States of America. So we have Mexico City. We have... the most recent one in this hemisphere was at Rio de Janeiro, and I'm not sure just how much of their stuff would be left after that, because wasn't that like, that was about 10 years ago, wasn't it? I think, wasn't that about 10? I think. But in any event, that does it for our hemisphere. We're going toward Australasia next, and Japan had the 2020 pandemic Olympics that happened, and which, man, were they not dealt a bad deck of cards by all that, right? They were dealt a horrible deck of cards. So you've got Japan, which hosted it twice, believe it or not. They've actually hosted the Olympiad twice. You have Sydney, Australia. Let me think here. You could do Beijing, China, but again, you'd run into Xi Jinping. He already knows that Donald Trump is going to actively interfere with the IOC, and why would he not interfere with the Alterna Olympics, right? Why would he not interfere with that? So we don't go there, but we could go to Seoul, South Korea, and this would give Kim Jong-un pause for a second, because what would he do? Would he go to the Alterna Olympics in Seoul, or would he try to please his dear buddy Donald Trump? Because the deal with the Koreas is they like to be, weirdly, a united team for any event that happens on the Korean Peninsula. So let me go through there. Did I get everything there? Yes. Okay, so we hit Africa. Africa's never had an Olympiad there, sorry. So we hit Europe. We have Berlin. The most recent Olympics were in Paris. So the alternate Olympics easy space is probably Paris. The second best bet is probably going to be London. Barcelona hosted an Olympics a long time ago. This was a very long time ago. Weren't they? They were 1992. Were they 92 or 9? No, 96 was Atlanta. They had to be 92. But you're going to have to start thinking this. But if anybody can pull one off in 2 years, it would be London. If anybody could use the most recycled sets, it would be Paris. But the shot that will hurt him and his people the most would be to hold the alternate Olympics between Rome and Athens. Between Rome, Italy, Athens, Greece. Here's why. Ready? This strange alpha mentality they've got worships ancient Greece and Rome. So those are the best possible spots to have an alternate Olympics where you're saying, you're a little too crazy, we're not doing this anymore, and there you go. I've got a rebuff anyway, so there. Now, they pulled about 4 or 5 mobs a little bit ago and then had to run. And I was stuck in combat for a very long time. They had to really kite all of them to get them down. Oh, why not? Usually with them, I can get it with just them. Well, I'll have to get the Agra first, and then... Oh, you silly head. We'll just do it like this, okay? We'll ramp this up real quick. We'll stay in cat form for you. Okay, and we're just letting things reset now. And if you get a combo, I'm going to you just burn it on bite, because they're pretty much done at that point. Now, oh, there's a mage and a warlock. Ooh, boy. Yeah. Okay, so, but that's the best way to do it, is to have it between Rome and Athens. And, come on. Now, shift out just because I need to stun out of you. Now, but like I said, that's the best place to do it. Another former girlfriend tells CNN we already covered this part. We already covered this story a while back. Rewind if you need to. And it's getting ugly up in Maine. I'm going to expect him to drop out. I'm expecting him to be basically a part of the sane wing and say, yeah, it's going to be too much, too hard, too fast. It's time to think about dropping out, and let's just go ahead and do it. Which then, like I said, you're basically giving the election to Susan Collins. But the only other way would be to have that, would be to have him run. You know, you could have him run, and maybe he would win the election, but then what are you truly running? Now, because like I said, 2 is telling. 2 is telling. Okay? And hot off the heels of this Mitch McConnell call from a couple hours ago, Representative Tom Keene, a Republican, recently returned to the House after spending more than 100 days away from the House. 0 explanation at the time. He was ultimately citing depression. Well, dude, if you're depressed enough that you cannot be an elected official for more than 100 days, you need to reevaluate and take care of yourself, leave office, and say, When I feel better, when I get over this, I'll run again. But right now, I need to focus on me. You're likely a millionaire anyway because you're in Washington as an elected official. Right. If you heard that little pop, there's still fireworks going off from the 4th of July. Switzerland needed a penalty shootout. It was 4-3 for World Cup. That was the next one. A newly filed lawsuit, this is from an hour ago, alleges that the Trump administration shared confidential information. Oh no. About with Tehran. Whoa. About Iranian asylum seekers as it worked to deport them from the United States, putting them at risk of persecution, torture, and probably a public hanging, because this is Iran we're talking about. They hang following their arrival in Iran. Good Lord. There it is. I'm just a few stories away from the even worse Iran moment. Okay, but good Lord, they're saying, okay, these people are here. They're applying for asylum. Here are their names. Really? This is what we've become. This is what this nation has become. This is what 77 million of you have become. 77 million of you. And it's not forgivable. It's not forgettable. It may become tolerable really, but might be able to be tolerated, but there will not be an acceptance. There will not be a forgiveness, and there will not be a forgetting, okay? It's just not coming. In the mountains, next one up from CNN, in the mountains of Venezuela's La Guardia state, workers have excavated new trenches at a cemetery to bury hundreds of people that are no longer alive due to the earthquakes down there. This was 2 weeks ago. Many of the bodies are being laid to rest down there. They are unidentified. So they're being put in there in a grave. We don't know who it is. We don't know. Why did you miss? I don't know why, but it did. So it's expanding. CNN again. Michigan Democratic Senate front runner Abdul El Sayed is now claiming to say he never said to defund the police, even though it's from 2020 and he's on camera and he said to defund the police. Thanks. This kind of garbage is going to flip Michigan back to a Republican senator. Thanks, guys. Do you know you need 2/3 majority? Right? Which means you need to pick up 20 seats, and you really need to start thinking about these redder areas like I'm going to tell you about either tomorrow or Thursday. I may take a day off tomorrow. I just don't know yet. I mean, I really just don't know. I might do that. And here is the last piece that I really want to hit here, because the next story after that was another Graham Platner moment, and guess what? They're already in progress about that. The U.S., last one from CNN, has launched a, quote, series of powerful strikes against Iran, quote, U.S. Central Command said in a statement. We're back on. Expect the Strait of Hormuz to close again. If I were Iran, and in all honesty, this is the battle plan that you need to have. You may as well keep the strait closed. Just say no. And keep it closed until the day after Election Day here in the USA. And then maybe, just maybe, you will finally have a 2/3 majority in the Senate that would be able to vote and convict, because they would actually have the testicular fortitude to vote to impeach Donald Trump and make sure he is never in office again. And yeah, Iran, it's going to take some fortitude, I know, to do that. But that's the only game plan you got. Only game plan you got. Keep that strait closed until the day after Election Day, just like you did in 1980. Just like in 1980. But it was with hostages instead of the Strait of Hormuz being held as a hostage, okay, basically. This was with but this is now with the Strait of Hormuz being held as a hostage, and we, oops, come back here. There we go. Now, so very soon, oh, I only have a minute here. And I said I didn't want to be on here all night long. So what I'm going to do is after this mob, I'm going to hearth out and we'll call it an evening, okay, guys? And we may just have to stay. There we go. We may have to stay in Cat. But, you know, I'll show you the layout another day. But guys, you've got to start appealing in red areas as the Democratic Party. And as I'll show later on, oh poo, well, let's just do that, yeah. And we'll do a spinny hearth while we're at it. But you're going to have to start understanding these people. Watch, believe it or not, watch their media one day. Watch right-wing media for a day. I know people would rather rot their brains out than do that, but honest to goodness, watch it. And watch the ads, watch the fact pivot. Watch that fact pivot one day. We're just going to sell, okay? See here, what do we got left? Oh, we got hides to do and stuff like that, okay. Alrighty, so, but watch it one day and watch the fact pivot, because what they do is they'll say a fact. They'll say something that is actually factual, like blah, 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 statement of fact. And then they pivot. And they're like, well, why would Democrats do this? Why would, and it's to demonize and make you afraid. And this is the era that went to Vietnam. These are those Vietnam veterans that came back from Vietnam. The specter of communism was there. They fought it. And I was hoping I had large claws. I don't think I do in here, do I? No, I don't. I don't have any claws. Okay, never mind. Because I have just barely enough to make one more wolf's head helm, and all I need are the claws, and it would be created, but it's just not going to happen tonight, is it? But no, seriously, watch their media one day, and watch all this stuff. Let me turn off my controller. One day I will show you my stuff here and my macros and everything. It's going to have to come soon, and it's going to have to come as a pre-recorded thing, but in any event, oh, there's Jake here right now going. I hope it's not. Nope, he's muted. He's muted. Okay. He's muted. Sorry to Jake. But in any event, for today's news and Warcraft, this is Nermall. And I wish you a great day and great gaming. Go vote. Oh my God, please. You're going to have to cancel out votes. You need a 2/3 majority, or this vote didn't work and you won't get to spin again. Remember that. You won't get to spin again. I wish you a great day and great gaming. Goodbye, everybody.